Hello and good evening, everyone. It's been a while since I live streamed, still getting used to the fact of live streaming. But today I'm going to try covering a topic under how to get your YouTube videos into the algorithm, since this is a common question I usually get asked, especially on Instagram. I hope everyone is doing well. But I'll just start by kind of talking about YouTube itself. So give me one sec. Okay, so in all, YouTube is owned by Google. Google is the #1 search engine in the world, so it would kind of make sense that YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. And if you think about what you and I use search engines for, we use search engines for looking for information or usually for entertainment. And the definition of a search engine, or what it's primarily used for, is to search and identify items in a database that correspond to keywords that you type in. So as a small or beginner YouTuber, it's very hard to take off if you're not creating searchable content, right? And this is a common mistake that people, especially when starting off on YouTube, is that they don't create searchable content. So again, tying back to how YouTubers people use YouTube for either entertainment or information, these two are the primary purposes as to what YouTube's function is for. So as a small YouTuber, if you're not creating searchable content, that's where step number one, or key mistake number one, usually lies. So you have to be creating content that people are searching for, whether it's how to change a car tire or football highlights, for entertainment, how to change a car tires for informational purposes, top 10 things that LeBron James owns, that's for entertainment purposes. So again, keep in mind, especially when starting off, create searchable content. And so again, tying back to YouTube's ultimate goal, with YouTube acting as a search engine, YouTube's ultimate goal is to keep people on YouTube. The longer people stay on YouTube, the more YouTube money makes. And you have to understand that YouTube is a business also, that if people aren't staying on YouTube, well, then they are also not making money. So you as the content creator are YouTube's way of getting people to stay on YouTube, which is why you put your videos in the algorithm. And if your videos are in the algorithm, it gets people to stay on YouTube. So YouTube's algorithm, okay, it's a lot of misconception going on in regards to it, but your goal should be to get your videos into the algorithm. And once it's in the algorithm, it fulfills YouTube's ultimate goal, which is getting people to stay on YouTube by watching your videos. And so there are multiple ways for your video to appear in the YouTube algorithm. The three main ways is either through browse, search, or suggested feature. And so again, getting your videos into the YouTube algorithm should be your primary goal, and there are numerous ways in which you'll know when your video has been put into the algorithm. Sorry, give me 1 second while I see what my dog's up to. Hello. So tying back into, there are numerous ways in which you'll know when your video has put into the YouTube algorithm. It ties into whether your video is receiving search traffic views or suggested traffic views or browse traffic views. So hey, Car Sanctuary. So I'll follow up with your question as soon as I'm just done talking about the algorithm, but thanks for tuning in. It should, to simply answer your question, it should fall under fair use, but I'll tie into that more into detail after this. But in regards to your videos though, again, 3 ways that videos go viral: search, suggested, or browse. All right, so here on my screen here, I have one of my channels, and I'll show you exactly what a viral video looks like. And the assumption is that whenever one of your videos go viral, it usually falls under either search, suggested, or traffic. So here's an example of a video that is currently going viral, and as you can see, when I click on reach, the 2 main traffic sources are suggested and browse. So a lot of you may be wondering, how do you actually get your videos into these traffic sources? And it depends highly on what keywords are used, what click-through rate you're getting, and what watch time your video is getting. So key metrics that I aim for is a click-through rate of over 10% and a watch time of over 50%. So if you look at, not all viral videos fall under that. However, this video in particular has a very low click-through rate, but at some point it was getting quite a high click-through rate, which is also why it appeared in the algorithm. But it seems that YouTube is suggesting it to the wrong audience now, and so now the click-through rate has fallen drastically. But in terms of engagement, one of the reasons why I like story channels is because the viewer duration is really high. People love stories. People get caught into stories quite well. You and I, if we were to watch entertainment versus a story, we would probably pay more attention to the story more so than the news or entertainment. But again, tying to the fact that suggested is a way to go viral, browse features is a way to go viral, YouTube search is a way to go viral. Suggested videos are those videos that appear in the bottom right hand corner whenever you click on a video. Browse is the YouTube homepage. So anytime someone clicks on your video and they click it from here, the YouTube homepage, okay, this is considered browse traffic. And then anytime someone searches for keywords and then they search for it and then they find your video, that's considered YouTube search traffic. So all 3, those are usually the main ways for videos to go viral, and that should be your goal for when launching videos onto YouTube. So just to reiterate, if you're wondering how to actually get your videos into the algorithm, you have to create quality videos, as cliche as it sounds. People are told this all the time, to create quality videos. However, they're always looking for something more. They're always looking for more details on how to create viral video or quality videos, but it really just comes down to having a good quality video and then a good quality thumbnail and title. So a quality video will usually lead to a good click-through rate and good audience retention. And if you have a good click-through rate and good audience retention, you'll get placed into the YouTube algorithm. So this is what I like to call the ABC, or the algorithm breakthrough criteria, in which the algorithm breakthrough criteria is a click-through rate of over 10% and a watch time of over 50%. So if you have a video that fits those metrics, you are highly going to have a video that gets placed into the YouTube algorithm. However, every single one of my viral videos that has ever been placed into the YouTube algorithm, every single one of them has not fit the algorithm breakthrough criteria. So this is it here. So algorithm breakthrough criteria, this is how to get videos into YouTube. So how to get videos into YouTube. Click-through rate of over 10% or higher than your competition's click-through rate, and good audience retention of over 40-50% or higher than your competition's audience retention. And just remember that every single one of my viral videos that has ever been placed into the YouTube algorithm, I've had over 200 viral videos to date. They fit the ABC. However, not every single video that fits the ABC gets placed into the algorithm. So if you look back at the example viral video here, even though the click-through rate is only 5.6% right now, at some point the click-through rate on this video was extremely high, and that's kind of when it went viral. All right. It went viral, you know, during its time of when its click-through rate was around 10%, and that's part of the ABC or algorithm breakthrough criteria. So moving on for that, tying into the fact of, you know, you have to create quality videos, you have to create videos that fit the ABC, 10% higher click-through rate or 40 to 50% higher audience retention. The more videos that you have that fit the ABC, the more that you're likely to have one of those videos fit into the YouTube algorithm. So I was talking to a client yesterday, and we were talking to you mentioned something like how we think of YouTube videos as assets, digital assets. So these turn into assets once these videos are in the YouTube algorithm. And once they're in the YouTube algorithm, they're gaining views, they're gaining money. It really builds up when you have an arsenal of all these videos together that are constantly bringing in money, you know. I'm in that model of faceless YouTube channels in which I tried my best to make videos go viral. But, you know, 1 year, 2 years down the road after doing this, it's not so dependent on making videos go viral anymore. It's more so dependent on getting as many videos as you can into the YouTube algorithm. So again, to reiterate for everyone who just joined the live stream, click-through rate and audience retention are YouTube's primary indicators as to whether a video is worth helping them keep people on YouTube. Again, think of YouTube's ultimate goal. YouTube wants to keep people on YouTube, and they do that through you posting good quality videos. So just to reiterate, a quality video equals a good click-through rate and a good audience retention. Just like the example here, good click-through rate of over, look, at some point this video had a 12.8% click-through rate. And then in terms of the engagement, a 5 minute, which is over 50% audience retention. Hey SMX, thanks so much for your kind words. I'll touch back base on your question very shortly, all right? So understanding click-through rate and watch time, it's very important. You just have to aim for those metrics. I think it's a very easy thing to say, you know, aim for a 10% or higher click-through rate and make sure your videos get over 50% watch time. It involves a numbers game essentially also, in that the more videos that you have, the more, you know, experiments, I like to call them, that you can post in terms of what videos are getting into the algorithm and what videos aren't getting into the algorithm. So how do you actually get into recommended by YouTube? So, hey Maddie, I'll touch base on your question after SMX, all right? To get into the recommended by YouTube SMX, you can't really force yourself into recommended. My method of doing it is that I just use similar keywords to whatever video that I'm creating. So let's see. If we look at my example video here, it's 50% of the traffic is coming from suggested videos. So recommended, suggested, it's kind of like the same thing. So recommended, suggested, very similar, but if you click on where people are actually coming from, so here 70% of this video's traffic came from suggested. And you can see that, you know, YouTube does a very good job of tying in keywords. So if YouTube can kind of tell, like, based on my title, based on my description, based on those are usually the two main factors that YouTube bases recommended on. But it's similar titled videos that YouTube will tie my video to, as long as my video has a good click-through rate and a good watch time. So use similar keywords, similar SEO. One thing I do want to point out is that this has been verified by not only me, but a bunch of YouTube professionals, that if you're spending more than 30 seconds on tags, just stop, okay? Tags are, you know, one of the least affecting factors. If not, it doesn't do anything on your video's algorithm performance. So what I mean by tags is that you can see this video here. As you can see, this video has 0 tags. I haven't tagged any of my videos in over 2 years. And I think one thing that YouTubers are guilty of is that they are spending way too much time on their tags. You should be spending a lot more time on your thumbnail, on your description especially. People always undercut themselves in their description. I mean, look how much I can write in a description filled with all good, relatable keywords, you know. But tags, don't spend time on tags. Tags are meaningless. All my viral videos, they don't have any tags, so be aware of that. And if you're interested, I could also show you where on Google's, you know, TOS or kind of articles where it says tags don't play a role in your video's performance, all right? So tying in with Maddie's question, can AI robotic voice channels be monetized? So here's the thing, Maddie. Under YouTube's terms of service, you're not supposed to monetize channels which are using AI voiceovers. However, you have to understand that YouTube is a machine. Sometimes channels will be monetized with AI voiceover. So you can take that risk. But essentially, if you choose to go the route of AI voiceover, so AI, everyone, what Maddie means is like robotic voiceovers to recite your videos. You can choose to go that route and see if you get monetized, and you may get monetized. However, you're not supposed to be monetizing videos, or YouTube isn't supposed to be monetizing videos which are using AI, but you'll see it all over YouTube. You know, people getting monetized even though using a robotic voiceover saves them on voiceover production costs. But with that being said though, in the future, there is still a risk of your channel getting demonetized. And me personally, I just wouldn't want to run into that problem of getting demonetized because I use the AI voiceover. I always stick to real live voiceover artists, okay? So Car Sanctuary is asking, I know he gets permission from the original posters. So Car Sanctuary, I actually do not get permission from original posters whenever I use their content. Fair use, let me see if I can pull it up for you guys. And again, don't take this as any legal advice. I'm just giving you guys a reference to kind of base it off of. But this here is the Copyright Act of 106A, fair use, which falls under fair use. So you don't necessarily have to ask permission to use someone else's work as long as you make the content transformative. So let me see for you guys. It's a big misconception also in regards to what people think they can use and can't use. I never really ask permission from anyone, and if anyone asks me to take their work down, I simply reason with them. No problem, Maddie. I simply reason with them that, hey, I'm not infringing your work. I'm just following it under fair use. And again, fair use does fall under, or does involve using like transformative natures of changing the person's work. You can't just, everyone who's doing shorts and getting copyright strikes for them, if you take a shorts video and you simply just re-upload it to your channel, that's not good, you know? You can't do that. And at the same time, sorry guys, I'm receiving a notification. Okay, so people who are starting shorts channels, okay, shorts channels have been a huge discussion right now. People who are starting shorts channels are simply just taking videos and re-uploading it to their channels. That is copyright infringement. You can't be doing that. You can't be taking someone else's videos and uploading it into your own channel, and kind of by doing that you're kind of claiming that it's yours. Whereas in regards to like top 10 faces video channels, once you combine a transformative video together, you cut it into segments, you add voiceover, you add sound effects, it's very transformative nature. So one of the biggest examples of individuals who are using, you know, fair use are all the news channels that you guys all see. You know, they don't own the work that they're filming. However, because they're talking about it, they're transforming it, they're presenting it, it falls under fair use. So, hey Mark, how's it going? So SMX, so this is tying back to your question, SMX, in regards to, but my channel has a good CTR, but I don't know why the video is not popping out. SMX, a lot of factors come into play, okay? How many videos do you actually have on your channel? And is what you're posting something that people are actually interested in? One thing to also mention, SMX, is that just because your video isn't performing now doesn't mean that it won't perform later down the road, you know? I recently just had my oldest viral video. What I mean by oldest is that it was posted over 440 days ago. and it is going completely bananas right now. And what I mean by bananas is that it's going viral, okay? So what I like to kind of do, or again, my goal as a YouTube poster is that as long as the click-through rate is over 10%, as long as the audience retention is over 40 to 50%, even if that video is only getting 10 views like a day, it's still good in YouTube's eyes. You never know when YouTube is actually going to flip the switch. Again, let me pull this as an example. You never know when YouTube is going to flip the switch for one of your videos. I mean, it'll happen anytime. I mean, look at this video here. I posted this video and it didn't go viral until about, 86 days. That's almost 3 months. Okay, so don't be discouraged just because if you are getting a good click-through rate, if you are getting 5 minutes view duration, then you're solid, okay? Don't really worry about that video. Keep doing the same thing. Recall how earlier I was talking about, YouTube is essentially also a numbers game. Keep doing the same thing. Get more videos that fit that criteria of 10% or higher click-through rate, 5 minutes average view duration. The more videos that you have that fit that, what I like to call the ABC, algorithm breakthrough criteria, the more chances you have of one of your videos going viral. All right, SMX. So Mark is asking, how will YouTube understand what a video is about if there is no talking inside? Example, workout video. I don't think title and description. So believe it or not, Mark, your title, your description, and your thumbnail is actually, YouTube is a very smart machine. I kid you not. So your title and your description is very good at understanding, may be well enough to kind of tell YouTube what your video is about, even if there's no talking. I kid you not. And at the same time, YouTube has a very advanced image recognition software in which it's really cool, guys. I was reading all about it, believe it or not. But when YouTube sees your thumbnail like this, let's pretend that you have gym or fitness weights in the thumbnail. YouTube can recognize each pixel point. YouTube has a machine. It's a cloud software that recognizes each pixel point and recognizes it and categorizes it as like keywords related to gym, fitness, health, weights. It's a very, very smart machine that YouTube has. So yeah, don't be discouraged, Mark. Your title, your description, and your thumbnail, because of YouTube's really advanced AI software, just based on those three, okay? Based on your title, description, and thumbnail, YouTube can recognize your video as what it's made for, all right? So yeah, even if you don't talk in your video, how a video is essentially, multiple images sliced together but just combined, right? YouTube can recognize that. It can recognize that there's weights in your videos, there's a gym in your video, there's a barbell in your video. It can recognize keywords like that based on your images, based on it analyzing very specific pixels that make up your image. All right, it's really cool, Mark. So just to reiterate, your title and your description, your thumbnail, even if you're not talking in the video, that will be enough to tell YouTube what your video is about. So Car Sanctuary is asking, does crediting the original poster do anything on the actual video, or is it a waste of time? I actually think that it's a waste of time. It's not a waste of time because I don't think it even takes any time, Car Sanctuary. It's more so if you want to do that just for, respectful purposes, you're more than welcome to. It's nothing bad. It won't hurt your channel. It's not also, I don't think it'll actually benefit your channel because if the individual doesn't like it, he'll probably just take it down. So yeah, let me know your thoughts about that. No problem, Mark. Let me know if you have any more questions, all right? Now, SMX, you're welcome. Rachi's asking, so do you ever take down videos that have failed to take off after a long time? So Rachi, I'm not sure if you heard this talk about earlier, in which sometimes when you post a video on YouTube and it doesn't perform well currently, it doesn't mean that it's your fault. Let's pretend that I create the best possible thumbnail on earth for this video here. I think it's the best possible thumbnail. I know it's a good quality video. I post it, here's a good example. 30 days later, it's only at 1,000 views. Another 60 days later, it's only at 5,000 views. I consider this a flop video. However, if the click-through rate is good, the watch time is good, you truly believe that it's a good quality video and that it's a good quality thumbnail, then just leave the video, I was mentioning earlier that I just had my oldest viral video go viral. And what I mean by oldest is that I posted it almost over 440 days ago, Rachi, and it went viral like just 1 month ago. It's crazy. So what I tell people is that don't worry about old videos that you post. And what I mean by worry is that don't worry why it's not quote unquote working. What you should be doing is that you should be analyzing YouTube videos as to whether their thumbnail work or they're getting a good audience retention rate, and then you should be taking that information and improving your future videos. I never really worry about editing or improving old existing videos that have quote unquote flopped. I put more of my time and focus onto future videos, and the reason why is because sometimes even when I post a video and it doesn't work, YouTube's audience, they have the ultimate say. They'll decide as to whether sorry, it's so blurry, guys. Let me see if I can adjust this. There you go. YouTube's audience will have the ultimate decision as to whether your video will work or not. Sometimes thumbnails and videos that I think are okay, not even that good, they end up getting millions of views. So just remember that your opinion alone, as much as it does matter, YouTube's audience has the ultimate say, okay? So tying into, hey, what's up live? No problem, happy to help. So SMX is asking how you produce videos, how much does it cost? So I have an entire team of literally an arsenal of video editors. I've been training them, vetting them. I have a team that creates probably 1,500 videos for me per month and clients. It costs, I would say a good price for a good quality video is at least, $100, $90. I've experimented with, and again, I've been doing this for almost 3 years now. I've experimented with videos that cost $20, $30, and you really see the difference in terms of quality changing of, okay, you pay for what you get for. And I mean, usually $20 or $90 to $100. And while people may think that's steep, tie it into the fact of frequency. Just because you're paying $90 to $100 per video, it doesn't mean that you have to post 30 times per month. Although YouTube is a numbers game, the more videos that you have out, the more chances that you have of your video performing. But at the same time, it's you can budget. I know channels that just post 4 times a month, once every week, and they do just as fine. But again, if you're gonna post less, at least make sure that the quality is really, really good. So let's see. So there's about maybe 3 or so myths in regards to YouTube for how small YouTubers tend to don't think of this. And it ties into number one, people think there's a lot of competition on YouTube, and I actually disagree with that. And the reason why is because, look, you see how this channel or this video here has over 50% suggested. The people who are promoting my video are actually individuals who have similar videos to mine, quote unquote, my competition, right? So don't really worry about competition on YouTube. Competition will not hurt your channel. So Shabam's asking, many people don't put the single word in the description, yet their videos are viral. So how does YouTube work on this? So kind of like I mentioned before, Shabam, YouTube has the power to recognize not only your description, but also your title, also your thumbnail. And again, think of your video as like a million thumbnails just kind of playing segment by segment, right? Because that's what a video essentially is. It's thousands of images played side by side, right? That's what a video is. YouTube can recognize your video frame by frame. It understands what's in the video. It understands when, why do you think YouTube has such a very complex copyright system? It can recognize images based on what's showing in your video. And at the same time, oh, sorry guys. And at the same time, what I was saying before, YouTube is very smart. Just because you don't see descriptions written in a video, this still has the title, it still has the thumbnail, and it still actually has the entire video, which is like 1,000 images, right? So, sorry about that, guys. Dogs are going crazy. Car Sanctuary is asking, would you personally ever produce videos in the same format as Daily Dose of Content or Internet? And go for a safer channel. So you're not the first one to mention Daily Dose of Internet. Me personally, I already know what I'm doing. I usually don't like to do what people are already doing, especially if they're really big. So that's kind of like a downside, you know, because I like to find hidden niches, what I like to call hidden niches, or something that's more niche. Personally, when I see someone doing something already, and I like the idea, I'll kind of twist it and try to make it my own unique way of doing it. Even if it's still similar, it's okay to be really similar to it, but I don't really do something that someone's already literally doing. Would you personally ever... Actually, I'm not too good with the answer. So let's pretend, you know, here, let's actually pull Daily Dose of Internet up. So I think Daily Dose of Internet is the individual who talks about like news and such, right? Yeah, so this is the individual who talks about certain news and such. It's you're more than likely to do something like this. I don't think it's hard. It's very very clickbaity. I mean, look at all these thumbnails. They're just very intriguing, right? So I think doing something like Daily Dose of Internet would fall under fair use. So you can try it. The thing with Daily Dose of Internet is that he doesn't fit the criteria of creating searchable content. Okay, so here's what I mean. It's not that people are searching for lightning strikes a little too close. People aren't searching for this topic, you know. What people are doing is that Daily Dose of Internet already has the following, so he can make a video however you want. He gets a lot of creative room to play around with, versus, you know, if Daily Dose of Internet were to just start over again without using the traction of this primary channel, it would be very, very hard for his video called Lightning Strikes a Little Too Close to take off. Hey Ayush, so is YouTube saturated and how can a new channel grow? Can you show your stats by detail so we can get an idea what works on YouTube? So I just tied into this, Ayush, so YouTube is not saturated. Hang on one second. All right, Ayush. So is YouTube saturated? To simply put it, YouTube is not saturated. And the reason why I mention that is because one of the 3 ways to get your video into the algorithm is through suggested here. And when you look at what videos are suggesting your video, it's quote unquote your competitions, right? Let's pretend you start a fitness channel. One of your videos starts going viral. It's about 50% suggested. It's another fitness channel's video that's promoting your video. So this is why I don't see competition on YouTube. I don't see saturation on YouTube. How a new YouTube channel can grow is that you can have a better click-through rate than your competitors, quote-unquote competitors, right? Just because, remember, I just said that competitors don't exist. They do exist, especially when you're trying to rank for a video on search. But essentially, suggested videos, it's one of the main ways that people circulate through YouTube, recommended and then suggested. So to grow a new channel, it ties into getting a good click-through rate, a good watch time, creating quality videos. You know, a quality video consists of a good click-through rate, right, and a good watch time. Uh-oh, I think my camera battery died, unfortunately, so we'll just stick to this view. But getting a good click-through rate, a good watch time, that really leads to your video performing better or having a higher chance of performing better than your quote-unquote competition. Okay, so can you share your stats by detail so we can get an idea of what works on YouTube? Again, it's a numbers game. The more videos that you have that have a 10% or higher click-through rate or 40 to 50% higher audience retention, the more chances you have of one of your videos working. So here are the top 3 traffic sources that usually deem of whether a video is in the algorithm or not, and it ties into whether your video falls under suggested, under browse, or search. And how you fall under one of those three is by creating searchable content with good thumbnails and good audience retention. Okay. So Rachi's asking, can you analyze Mr. Beast and makes him all his views? I saw his gaming channel also blowing up. So Rachi, I analyzed that a couple months ago. And the good thing about starting, once you have a channel that's performing very well, you can leverage your existing channel's audience and promote that other channel. So what Mr. Beast semi did, other than having fantastic thumbnails, fantastic content, and fantastic keywords and such, he would use the actual Mr. Beast channel, do a community board shout out. So as you can see here, there's something called community boards. Mr. Beast can use his main channel to shout out his gaming channel through his community board, and it'll go to most of his followers. Okay, here's a community tab. I don't use it too much on this channel, but once you hit 1,000 subscribers, you'll see that you'll have this. So this is a good place to interact with your subscribers and even non-subscribers. But once you have an existing audience, let's pretend, you know, this is a story channel. It doesn't hurt me to make another story channel and use this channel to promote it. Thoughts on multiple accounts on the same email like brand accounts, or is there a downside to having a channel that is a brand account? So I usually separate all my emails, Car Sanctuary, just for safety, and I also use a Google key to two-step authenticate it. So I have a physical key that I use for all my YouTube channels. And then SMX is asking, by the way, I saw that mostly videos get viral through browse or maybe suggested. Search results plays very little part. What you think as a new channel? Any three will work. SMX, if you are able to get your videos into any three of those traffic sources, you're already in a really good position. Okay. You should be happy that your video's in search. You should be happy that your video's in browse. You should be happy that your video isn't suggested. All three traffic sources, they get you views, and that's what you need. You know, there's people out there who post thousands of videos who don't get any views because they're not posting any searchable content. So any three will work for me. I've had videos gain over 1 million views from any three of those traffic sources. I'm fine with any of those. Car Sanctuary is asking, since you have a team making videos for you, do you always watch and approve the video before it's scheduled? So I have about 6 project managers who work with me, Car Sanctuary. So I have 6 project managers, and then I also have what I like to call a QC department. QC stands for quality check. So not only did I train my team, they all have SOPs, they all have guides as to what they need to do. So again, 3 parts. Sorry, I have to sneeze, guys. Excuse me. So 3 parts to a video, right? Or technically 5. We have the script, thumbnail, voiceover, video edit, and an uploader. Each and every one of those roles, I've created an SOP, or standards of operating procedure, or basically a guide that they all have to follow, so that I know that as long as they follow this, the video should be good quality. So that's kind of like checkpoint number 1. Checkpoint number 2 is that my project managers check the files. So at that point, there should be 2 quality checks. And then after my project manager checks the work, I have a QC department who checks the work again. So that's now 3 checks. That's how I ensure quality. And quality is very important, everyone. It's the make or break to your video. What I want to say is that you can't be wasting money on videos, or you can't be wasting time on videos if you're going to undercut it and just not make it the best quality that it can be. I'm not saying that every single video that we post is 110%, because sometimes a video maybe I think will be about 80% quality, but it'll still go viral. Again, YouTube's audience, they have the ultimate say, all right? Just because you think a video or thumbnail isn't the best, you know, the majority of people on YouTube might say otherwise. So SMX is asking, do you suggest to buy a YouTube monetized channel because like some niche can't be monetized? So no, SMX, if your niche isn't supposed to be monetized, so first of all, it's against YouTube's terms of service to buy channels. So I would just stay away from that. I do recommend starting fresh. I mean, it's safe, right? You own the email, you start the channel from scratch. And if you're in a niche that can't be monetized, then what makes you, I don't think it'll be monetized. Like, it'll probably get demonetized in the future. So Okay, and then tying into the fact of, if you guys have any other questions, please feel free to ask. But something I want to mention is in regards to the myth about sub count. So I was on a call with the client yesterday, and he mentioned something that, his channel only has about 50,000 subscribers, but it's making more than his channel that has 170,000 subscribers. So another misconception that people tend to have is that subscribers are the most important metric. I mean, people spend time, like 15 seconds within their video, asking people to subscribe to the channel. And let me give you reasons why that doesn't, like, it's useless now. It's okay to do a bottom lower third in your video that only takes 1 second to display to remind people to subscribe. But nowadays, people know to subscribe on YouTube. It's not a new tactic. It's not a new action. A lot of people know that they can subscribe to your channel. So with that being said, don't spend 5 seconds even asking people to subscribe to your channel. And at the same time, again, if you're going to spend time focusing on how can you get people to subscribe, focus more of that time on how to get people to click on your video, how to get people watching your video. And me personally, I've analyzed my videos. So let me pull it up here. So I've analyzed, probably over 500 of my videos, seeing what gets a good audience retention, what gets a bad audience retention. And what I want to mention is that you'd be surprised that if you spend more than 15 seconds, 10 seconds asking people to subscribe to your channel, the viewership actually dips down, and it's surprising to see that. Just because you're asking people to subscribe, people actually do dip down. So with that being said, just use a lower third that says reminder to subscribe, because people know how to subscribe to a channel. Don't spend actual video content asking people to subscribe. So subscribers are not the most important metric. Subscribers are a byproduct of a good quality video, right? So let's see. Do you have a team? Car Sanctuary is asking, do you have the team post the community feed often? So here's my thought process on community board, Sanctuary. Again, I think you're gonna really like this. So your community board, right? The good thing about your community board is that if you post something on here, it shows to more than just your subscribers. I'm not saying all 44,000 subscribers are going to see this, but you'll notice that you start getting voters from people who are not subscribed to your channel. It's another way for them to reach your channel. It's another way for them to interact with your channel. So what I usually have is that, because there's numerous ways you can do it. You can type a question here: what's your favorite story? But you have to think of it like this. What's the least path of resistance that people will take to interact with your channel? So if I post this poll, what's your favorite story? I'll say, what's your favorite type of story so far? And I post this, okay? Again, think about the least path of resistance. When people see this community board, they're gonna have to click on comment, they're gonna have to type a few keys, and then they're gonna have to hit reply. That's like 3 different actions, that people have to take just to kind of participate in this community board post. Versus, what's your favorite type of story? And then you turn it into a poll. Polls are the #1 way to get people to interact with your community board. We'll say romance, comedy, drama. You guys get what I mean. But once I post this, all people have to do is just vote on the poll. It's very easy, and YouTube sees it as interaction. They'll likely promote this community board post to more people just because they see people interacting with your post. So to simply answer your question, my team, we schedule out polls. Okay, so the good thing is that you can schedule out polls to be posted, I think literally throughout the entire year if you wanted. So we schedule polls out so we don't spend too much time on them. But I think it is a good way to kind of build an audience, get people to, what's up, JP? to kind of build an audience, to get people to interact with your community board, get people to find your channel. So I've seen YouTube channels with like less than 50,000 subscribers get almost 400,000 votes in their polls. So can you tell about your courses, whether you're close to Insta? So I don't really like to, you can email me, Shabam, or message me on Instagram. I usually don't like to turn these types of live streams into like a selling aspect, but my course, I just try to teach people about YouTube. If you want more details, you can reach out to me on Instagram. I'd be more than happy to discuss it with you, but not so much. I don't want people who watch a live stream to spend time looking at, you know, us talking about my course for 4 or 5 minutes or so. Car Sanctuary, thank you. Appreciate it. So if anyone has any other questions, feel free to ask. I've got about 6 minutes before I sign off. And just so you guys know, I will be probably, these live streams are going to centralize around a certain topic. So if you missed it earlier, do make sure to watch the replay that gets uploaded. And then in addition to that, I'm not certain which days I'm going to start live streaming still. However, so I see your question, Maddie. Okay, there you go. I'm not sure what days I'm going to live stream still. It might say otherwise on my YouTube channel. So I will spontaneously just be hopping in and out. So let's see. But once I kind of get a schedule down, I will post it on my YouTube channel. I'll be posting on my Instagram. I'll be sending it out to my email list for whenever I do go live. So Maddie's asking how to write an engaging script. I don't have funds to hire. I want to do it on my own. So Maddie, one of the biggest things you can do is that within the first 10 seconds of your video, I'm going to refer to it as a video, even though it's a script. But within the first 10 to 20 seconds of your video, you should technically start your channel. One of the biggest mistakes that YouTubers make is that they have like a minute-long intro. If I'm clicking on a video, again, let's take this for example. If I'm clicking on this video, couple gets discriminated by landlord and later ... If I click on that video and I spend like even just 30 seconds introducing the video or what my channel is about, or even wasting time asking people to subscribe, people are going to opt out. You know, people have a very short attention span, which is why one of the main things in my scriptwriter guidelines is that you have, my scriptwriters, I only want a 1 to 2 sentence intro. Okay, 1 to 2 sentence intro, even 1 sentence intro is good, but afterwards they better start the actual content of the video. Get straight into it, talk about the story, talk about the main purpose of why they're clicking on that content. So how to write an engaging script. Make your intro very, very short. Don't waste time asking people to subscribe. And after that, actually start what the topic of your video actually is about. People are very guilty of this. Me personally, when I see YouTube channels that have like a intro video that's like 15 seconds long, I mean, it may look cool, but people aren't clicking on your video to see your intro screen. You know, people are clicking to see what the title of your video is about. So channels like Brightside, they post sometimes. Why don't we just do this? Car Sanctuary, it might tie into budget. You know, there's capital involved with these faceless YouTube channels. So Brightside, they're very big. You know, it doesn't make sense. I mean, it does make sense to keep putting money back into the channel. It's very lucrative. I mean, once this channel is profitable, you know, and this channel is profitable, it makes sense to start making more and more videos so that you can start building that arsenal of all of these videos. Let's imagine that you have 10,000 videos on this channel. If all 10,000 videos are even just making 5 cents a day, that's like $5,000 a day, right? I mean, maybe my math is wrong, but 10,000 videos making at least 5 cents a day, that's not hard. It's not hard for a video to make 5 cents a day, but again, it's that numbers game and I'm a strong believer of reinvesting your money back into a channel, especially if it's already working, so that you can kind of scale it higher. So what I specialize in highly is scalable YouTube channels. I don't mean to disrespect anyone, but anyone who asks me to work with them on their vlog channel, one of the things I always mention is like, it's a very hard thing to scale a vlog channel, a film channel, one in which you are the center of your brand, one in which you have to film. It's very hard, especially if you're the only one who can do that. And then with that being said though, a faceless YouTube channel, a channel in which you hire out the entire team, it's very, very scalable, guys. I mean, this is a fantastic model of YouTube to be in. So what's the science behind the names of your channel? They seem to follow a similar pattern. So I wanted to make an umbrella kind of term of channels. And one of the things I took on was the last three letters, EST. It's just branding. They don't ever intersect. They don't ever intercorrelate. But it's just the fact of branding. I do like, I just like the name, honestly, Rachi. And when people see the name, they should understand what the channel is about. So what do you think about YouTube after 5 years? YouTube after 5 years, I mean, I've seen channels. In what context do you mean, SMX? There's a lot of ways I could think about YouTube after 5 years. I mean, I don't think it's going to go down. No problem, Maddie. Happy to help. SMX, I don't think YouTube's ever going to go down after 5 years just because they're so big. They're what people call a blue chip. They're owned by Google, one of the biggest blue chip companies in the world. Something that's always going to stick around. So is it right with you to share checklists or guidelines that you follow or give it to people you hire? So I only give it to my team, Rachi, and the reason why is because it's basically like the manual to my business, the manual to my work. I like to consider it as an asset that although the people I hire see it, I don't like giving it around too much simply because it's what I do that kind of makes me different from other people, and it's based on these guides that I've manually created. And I created guides for every single one of the people in my team, every single one of the roles: project managers, thumbnail artists, description writers, video editors. I've created Microsoft document guides for all of them. Teaches step by step on how I want the content done. It's a proprietary thing, It's something that's unique about me working with me, that I have those guides. So I don't necessarily just give it out easily. However, in my course I actually do though. And now that I think about it, I think I actually do have to update those guides. So wouldn't you just reinvest 100 million? Yeah, exactly, Carside. I think I understand what you're saying. Reinvesting into your YouTube channel, it's a very good thing to do. Especially if your channel is profitable. For this channel specifically here, I can reinvest all this money into the back in YouTube channel, get more videos, get more stories out, get more videos into the algorithm. It'll pay off in the long run. So all right, if anyone has any other questions, please feel free to ask. I'll be signing off in just a couple more minutes for when the team gets here. All right. By the way, there's not many of you, but how are you guys finding that my live stream is on? I mean, I'm new to live stream. I'm not sure how people are finding this, whether it's like through search or they get notified on YouTube. How are you all finding me on live stream, if you don't mind me asking? Let's see. Oh. Alright guys, in a couple of minutes we are going to be signing off if no one else has any other questions. But do feel free to ask in the meantime till then. Thank you all for tuning in though, again. Telegram. Interesting. I see notifications, Rashi. Thanks. No, that's great. And then you would, yeah. What do you? yeah, I hope people who are listening to this, I hope you guys are taking action, because I mean, it's one thing to think of the idea, but you know, the rich people, the successful people, you know, they're the executors, you know, and it's not going to be perfect at first, but taking action really pays it off. And SMX is asking 20K to run a whole channel, and then we just have to do some work. What do you think? For 20K, I would expect a whole, I mean, that's a lot of money. I don't think I ever spent 20K to start a channel, honestly. That's quite a, it's quite a steep buy-in, I would say. Now let's see. SMX is asking, YouTube about 5 years. SMX, what I followed up with that is that in what context do you want, in what context are you asking about YouTube after 5 years was my kind of follow-up to that. People on Insta think, yeah, 20K is a whole lot, SMX. I mean, that's a steep buy-in. I personally wouldn't do it. And at the same time, if you have 20K to spend, I mean, I kind of mean this as a joke. If you have 20K to spend, pay for 20K worth of videos, and I guarantee you, especially with my team, we'll get one of those videos to go viral. Because 20K spent on videos, that's a lot of videos that you can, that's a lot of chances for one of your videos to go viral. So with that being said though, 20K, I mean, it's not hard to optimize, upload. I mean, I would do the work myself for 20K. Alright guys, some gurus asked, yeah, I know, I think I am familiar with people who are asked 20K. I mean, that's part of their business, you know. I mean, it's not on their part, it's not on their fault to trying to start a business and hustling out there and actually wanting to do the work. It's just a business they offer. But aside from that guys, I think I'll end this live stream here. Thanks so much everyone for tuning in. I'll be going live again probably maybe tomorrow morning. I did kind of briefly touch on the SMX. 5 years later, I don't think YouTube is going anywhere. I mean, they're a blue chip company. Google owns them. They're probably going to stick around for quite the longest time. So I don't think this model of YouTube is going anywhere just because it works so well. And essentially, you know, while I may be making $2,600 on this channel, YouTube is making more. So aside from that guys, take care, and I'll see you guys again on the next live stream. All right, no problem, happy to help. All right, take care everyone, have a good day.